1967, while working for the U.S. Geological Survey, I was selected for an assignment in the Antarctic. Our assignment was to measure the drift of the ice cap from Bird Station out into toward the South Pole. In October, we flew to Christchurch, New Zealand, where we picked up heavy clothing, and from there we flew to McMurdo Sound Base, where we picked up our transportation. The nod wells were used for transportation. They are basically a little cabin setting on caterpillar treads. The Navy loaded us and our nod wells into a C-130, and we flew to Bird Station. We landed in a blizzard. The temperature was about -40 degrees. So we loaded into a vehicle and went into the Bird Station, which is built underneath the snow. The station holds about 100 people during the summertime there. The next day we unloaded the nod wells and gathered food supplies that we would need on our traverse. The traverse is about 100 miles long. The first thing we had to do was add 12-foot poles to each post that was in the ice in order to get up high enough to be so we could observe the angles. We used a theodolite to measure the angles. We used a electrotape to measure our distances. We spent about 20 some days on the traverse. Then we returned to Bird Station for a little while and then resupplied and went back out and finished our traverse, which took another 20 or so days. The work was cold and tedious. We would work 10, 12 hours a day, come back to our camp, eat a meal or two, and go to bed. And then we would get up the next morning and start all over again. We had a mechanic that was assigned to our survey in case we had a breakdown of either one of the nod wells. And while we were out on the strain line, at each camp he would build a igloo toilet, and we didn't have to sit on the cold ice. We had one toilet seat, which made it a little more comfortable. We came in from our traverse for Christmas Day. Christmas dinner was a big dinner with all the trimmings. We had turkey and then big cake for dessert. Water that was served at the Bird Station on Christmas Day came from an ice core that was brought up, and it was from the same day as the birth of Christ. After dinner, they had the traditional football game, which put the Navy personnel against the scientists that were stationed at Bird. Communications home was limited. When we were in Bird Station or the pole station, we could use their radio, so we connected through the ham operators in the United States to take our messages and connect us with our families. I used to call home about once a week. Found a ham operator somewhere in the Denver area, and he would come up, take our calls, and then he would connect me with the family in Lakewood. Another part of our assignment was the astronomical observations from the South Pole. We flew in and out on C-130s. We spent 2 separate times, about a week each time, at the South Pole making these observations. The purpose of the observation was to help locate the precise position of the South Pole so that in the future they could build a station, and with the drift of the ice, the station would drift directly over the South Pole. The South Pole station was under the ice. About 30, 40 people were there all summer. The middle of February, we finished our projects and returned to Christchurch so we could return to the States. I spent about a week touring South Island of New Zealand, and then I flew home on a commercial flight that went to Andrews Air Force Base, and then I flew back to Denver. Well, we had a big reunion at the airport. It was very good to be home.